Hi, this is Philip Byrne for PhoneScoop.com, and here I'm looking at the Samsung Epic 4G, which is the first 4G phone with a full QWERTY keyboard available on Sprint's WiMAX network. It's also the only of the Galaxy S phones available with that full sliding keyboard. And as you can see, the keyboard is just massive. It's really one of the largest keyboards I've seen on a smartphone. The rows are nice and generous. It's really easy to use for typing, and I really like the keyboard on this device. It was really a pleasure to type out long messages or emails. Even things like URLs were just very easy to handle on the huge keyboard on this phone. One of the other standout features on this phone is this Super AMOLED display. It works better than regular OLED displays in bright sunlight, and I can certainly tell you from my tests that it looked much better than any other OLED display I'd seen. It even looked great outdoors. It's running Samsung's newest version of their TouchWiz software, and ironically, Samsung has improved TouchWiz by taking most of it away. So you don't have the dock icons here anymore. They've really taken away most of the intrusive bits, and what you mainly have is a theme on top of Android where you get these colored tiles for different apps. You get the 7-panel home screen with these shortcuts that remain down here at the bottom. And otherwise, there's very little to tell you that this is a TouchWiz phone. Now, there were some things about this phone that really just blew me away. I found the performance to be very speedy, especially when I was under Sprint's WiMAX network. I found great performance from the phone. The processor is very, very fast. It uses a custom Samsung processor running at 1 gigahertz. And everything I did on this phone was just very quick. The entire interface was very fast. It was very responsive to the touch. And I was very pleased with what I saw. Now, Samsung hasn't added much on top of the standard Android platform. You get this Buddies Now widget, which is a nice way to house your favorite contacts. It looks really good. It's sort of easy to use. Nothing too special, but it looks nice. You also get the feeds and updates, which gives you your Facebook and Twitter feeds. I really like that you can respond and retweet to both Twitter tweets and Facebook status updates right here from the widget itself without having to open up a separate app. You get a task manager here so you can see which programs are hogging up your CPU cycles. Now, I've criticized Samsung in the past for the TouchWiz interface. I've never been a huge fan, but this time I think they could have gone a little bit farther. I actually would have liked to see more TouchWiz on this phone, especially when you get to something like the music player. This is really just the stock Android music player. I like that you can search directly from the music player with a good tap. But Samsung has made some nice music players for their phones, and I was sad to see nothing like that on this phone. A lot of the stock applications were left as is, and I think it could have been a little better with more intervention from Samsung. But I think my biggest problem with the phone was with the camera. It's got a 5-megapixel camera, and it really just did not work very well. The images that I took were not very impressive, and I really think it's just not living up to the competition. There are much better cameras on the market. It does have a nice interface, and it's got plenty of camera features. You've got a cartoon mode. This is a weird add me mode where you can sort of insert people into shots. And it's got a lot of features, but the images that it took were just lousy, just faded. They didn't look very good, and they were very disappointing. With a much better camera, maybe a little bit better software, I'd say this would be an easy recommendation to snap up in a second. It's still a fantastic phone, but for some people it just might not be the perfect choice. Most people, though, are going to be very happy with that huge keyboard, very fast processor, one of the best screens on the market, and all around the Samsung Epic 4G is a great choice. For PhoneScoop.com, this is Philip Byrne.